Good morning and welcome to Mets Connect Me. We hope you had a good weekend and that you all charged up for the 5th online session. As you probably know, Mets Trade has been cancelled this year. That is why we bring Mets to you online.
We started last Thursday and will continue till Wednesday afternoon. So still 3 days to go with captivating sessions and clarifying Q&As. Each day we broadcast 2 sessions, one at 11 o'clock and one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My name is Dianne van Mun.
And my name is Marianne de Groes. We are your hosts for the coming days of Mets Connect Me.
This Monday morning, we take you on a trip overseas for our 5th online session, CZone Product Launches. From the CZone premises in Auckland, New Zealand, we are connecting live with Mark Harnett and Warren Wright. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Warren. Or better, good evening. How are you doing? No jet lag this time.
Good morning. Yeah, we're doing very good, thank you. Good to see you all and no jet lag, no.
That's the only.
Yep.
CZone product launches. Are there new developments you are going to share with us? What can we expect?
There's a few things coming for the rest of this year and into early next year, and at the end of the presentation you'll see a sneak peek of some products coming later into next year.
Okay, that's a full and interesting program. You only have 45 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mark.
That should be enough.
Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Warren. We will see you in a bit.
Okay,
thank
standing
you.
by, thank you.
Like last week, we like to interact with you. And for that, we need your help. If you look at your screen, on your right, you can see the Q&A. There you can fill in all your questions, and after the show, our experts are more than ready to answer them. But first we go to...
Welcome to Brain Trainer, with today a question that even makes our brain crack. Last week we learned that our organization will grow greatly. So the question this time is, how many employees are working in the new ASG EMEA organization?
Well, Diane, at least 2. That's us. But at the end of the show, we will tell you who the winner is. Send in your answers as detailed as possible, and we would love to see your reaction.
But now it's time to give the mic to our New Zealand colleagues who can bring you up to speed about CZone digital switching. We give the floor to Mark and Warren.
Hi, my name's Mark Harnett. I'm from BEP CZone here in New Zealand, and with me I have Warren Wright. We're both product managers here at BEP CZone, and we're going to take you through a little bit of a presentation here today on some of the things we've got coming up in CZone for 2021. So I'm going to hand over to Warren to start with, and he's going to start us off on CZone RTM18 and CZone Touch 10 update. We also have some new cabling for RVs and the mobile market, which will really help get some costs down and get us more competitive in that space. We have a small addition to the Contact 6 Plus build sense that Warren will always also take you through. And then you'll be left with me for a few minutes on the Works with CZone program. I'll hand back to Warren for Siren Marine telematics update through the Works with CZone program. And finally, I'll run through our MFD integration update and also give you a bit of a glimpse of some more modules that we have coming in 2021. So I will hand over to Warren.
Thanks, Mark. So the first topic we're going to talk about is the CZone RTM18 update. So what's CZone RTM18? So we have basically 2 to 3 major software releases every year for CZone. So they provide new features and enhancements to the CZone user interface, configuration tools, and integration with other third-party devices. The release includes software updates to the CZone and MasterVault product range, our own displays and configuration tools. So the key features we'll discuss on RTM18 is firstly a redesigned battery and fluid level widgets. The second one is color-coded monitoring. There's battery monitoring updates and a swipe out menu indication. Those are all UI updates. In terms of new products, we've got support for the new Smart Battery Hub and the Contact 6 Plus Build Sense support. We also have switch bank support for the membrane keypads, and on the MasterVault side we have support for the new MLI 1250, the ChargeMaster Plus 1 and MLI firmware updates are included also. So the battery fluid level widget improvements, so basically those widgets have been redesigned with a more modern look. The new widgets have much better contrast, making the levels much easier to see and read at a glance of the display. So the monitoring icons are color-coded now, so we have the new or addition of the orange color coding to red, and basically these indicate the low and high level alarm states. The color coding provides better visibility of items that may need to be addressed before getting into a critical state, particularly when an alarm has been acknowledged and forgotten. So the features, so color coding enabled, obviously, as I just say, with the alarm states. So for the meters, it's basically DC, AC, fluid, temperature and pressure meters. The meters must also be data sourced from a CZone device, a MasterVault device, or even the M2 VSM by Blue Seas. So those states are basically orange for low or high alarm states, and red for very low or very high. So battery monitoring improvements. Basically battery health is one of the most important factors for reliable time on the water or road. So RTM18 ensures the monitoring of batteries is more intuitive and informative with an additional widget and other UI improvements. So the features, we now have 2 battery widgets to select from, and they are available in the favorites tool. So when you add a battery to the favorites layout, then you have those 2 options there. So you'll see the battery widget 1 up the top. That's what we've had existing in the CZone UI. So the 2 fields of data that are monitored there is the state of charge percentage and the amps. So the new battery widget, which you see down the bottom there, includes the battery time remaining and time to charge value, which is obviously a bit more meaningful to the end user. So we also have a new charge icon. You'll see that when the battery is actually charging, just to indicate or better show battery charge state. And then of course we've also got the color coding, which I just mentioned, so orange for low level and very low is being red. So also on the monitoring slide out, that's still there, so you press on any one of those battery icons and you get the full values to the side of the display. Okay, so the next one is a swipe out menu indication. So those basically backlight and menu swipe out pages are now discoverable with the indicator showing at the top and the bottom of the display. So the backlight swipe area has also been reduced. We did have some problems with customers accidentally bringing up that backlight page while they're scrolling through the list menu, so that's now been reduced to that smaller area on the bottom of the screen, just so you don't have any of those issues. Okay, some additional features, like I mentioned, we have support for a couple of new CZone products, the Smart Battery Hub, which Jeff will be running over in a separate presentation. So RTM18 supports that device and all of the setup and configuration of it, and that product's coming in Q1 2021. Contact 6 Plus build sense support, so there's an update to that module, and now includes a bi-directional channel for monitoring bilge pump running. And then also for the keypads, we have the switch bank support, so you can enable that on any keypad, and that basically enables up to 28 switches per keypad for use with our various Works with CZone partners. Master Vault updates. So we have some new products here which we're supporting are now CZone compatible. So there's the new Master Vault Lithium Ion 1250. Should be available early next year, and the Chargemaster Plus One. So being CZone compatible, all these devices can be configured or set up offline. So really a plug-and-play system as with the other CZone modules. Firmware updates. So in addition to the master shunt, which is firmware updatable with the config tool, the MLI batteries can now also be firmware updated. So that's a nice new addition. So that's it for RTM 18. That software release will be available early January. And you can download that on the CZone portal. Right, so on to Touch 10 Gen 2, which includes an updated LCD and processor for an improved UX. The Touch 10 Gen 2 uses the fastest dual-core processor included in the new sibling, the Touch 7. The new processor ensures the CZone 2 user interface is faster and more responsive. And the Touch 10 Gen 2 also includes IPS LCD display, optically bonded to improve the contrast. And it's viewable from every angle in all lighting conditions. Top 5 features for Touch 10, so it's got an attractive low profile 4mm black aluminium design, 10.1 inch widescreen capacitive touch panel. Like I said, it's optically bonded for wide viewing angles and better contrast. It's got a high bright LED backlight with full range dimming, high resolution providing a much sharper UI, dual core processor for improved response, and a marine spec custom mounting bracket to allow easy access to the rear connections. So CZone 2.0 interface with the updates. For those who aren't familiar, we have the modes bar up the top, which is persistent on any favorites page. We have the menu to the side or top left. There's also some new third-party widgets which we've introduced over previous RTM releases. So we have HVAC controls on the bottom left, audio controls and controls for other third-party devices. You also see the monitoring widgets and a various array of switches that can be all customized through the favorites tool. So just a couple of variations in comparison to the other touch displays. So the Touch 10 does have 24 items per favorites page, and it's a 4x6 grid. So you get a lot more items per page, which is actually a 75% increase over a Touch 5. So more items per page obviously means less pages to navigate to access important monitoring and information and switches. So just a display comparison there. I guess the key things to highlight there is really the IPS display and the optical bonding, which is also included on the Touch 7. The Touch 5 doesn't have an IPS display. The Touch 10 is also good for marine applications, so it is IP66 or IPX6, and like the Touch 7, it does have a 24-bit RGB panel. Part numbers, so just one thing to note is it does have a new part number over the existing Gen 1 Touch 10, so that's 80-911-0216-00. The product will be available in Q4 this year, and it's going to be a rolling change from the existing model. RVC cabling? Oh, okay. We'll just cut there. All right. So RVC cabling, cost down for mobile. So what is RVC? RVC is a CAN-based communication profile for recreational vehicles, and it was developed by the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association in the USA. The first formal specification was approved in 2005, and the first products were marketed at that time. The RVIAs continued to refine and expand the protocol, and in 2008 applied to ISO with the intention of opening the RVC protocol to the world community. So RVC draws heavily from the SAE J1939 protocol. So basically it's the RV equivalent of NMEA 2000 in the USA. So the network cabling, with many products coming onto the market with RVC capability and them integrating into CZone, we are bringing them into the market, or we're bringing into the market a range of RV specific cables and adapters. This dedicated RV CAN cabling system reduces the cost of smart networks for builders compared to current marine NMEA 2000 and micro C cabling. So the top 5 features are dedicated RVC components that use an unsealed pin and socket or Molex or ValueLock style compatible connector. Allows easy compatibility to existing looms. Have the backbone or drop cables built into the loom and connect devices during the build using standard connectors, which are less than 14 cents. Direct compatibility to recent CZone devices designed for RV, including the Touch 7. Lower cost components when compared to existing N2K, where waterproofing may not be required. A range of adapters back to NMEA 2000 are included for support of the existing network devices with the marine style connectors. So the part numbers and pricing are all there as an indication. So we have the 4-way T, as I mentioned, the RVC terminator, which is a single terminator that goes on both ends of the network. We have a 1 meter and 2 meter in the range in terms of an N2K to RVC drop. And we do have some drop and backbone lengths coming 1, 2, 3 and 6 meter, and the pricings to be announced on those. Just some benchmarking we've done. So a large off-road camper, currently around about $290 of NMEA 2000 components, comes down to about 156, so around about half the cost. And a 7.9 meter camper in New Zealand from $188 to $104, so excellent cost down for those applications. Contact 6 Plus upgrade for the Build Sense. So the Build Sense output has been added to Contact 6 Plus channel number 6. Helps remove costs from installations requiring automatic bilge pump feedback on the dashboard. This also enables one input channel on Contact 6 Plus like the Koi, and Control 1 has on the first 4 channels. It's going to be a running change. Product labels will be updated to reflect the new functionality. The software enabler included for RTM18, as we just discussed, and that rolling change will happen late 2020 or early 2021. We'll also provide a tech bulletin at the appropriate time. Works with CZone, I'll pass over to Mark.
Thanks, Warren. We've been working on Works with CZone for quite some time. There are a lot of integration partners with CZone out there, and we get weekly, monthly, daily calls on more companies wanting to integrate with CZone. So we developed the Works with CZone program to simplify that process. Integration partners are our third strategic pillar for the growth of CZone, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on when I show you a few products for next year. But systems like CZone are really going to be central to the smart RV and vessel of the future. And the more integration partners CZone has, the more desirable CZone ultimately becomes, and the easier it is for you to sell it to your customers around the world. So, as I said, we get weekly, daily, hourly requests to integrate with CZone, and that's from all around the world and from many different types of partners. So we've designed the program to simplify that and make it easier for everybody. The Works with CZone program formalizes and simplifies everything. It provides tools to the power product sales and PM teams, as well as our distribution partners, and ultimately less management is required, and the process helps push the knowledge and the opportunities down through our respective organisations. So you would have seen in the market there's often been a lot of works with systems. You know, I've got a few up there on the screen. Works with Google, works with Honeywell, works with Fitbit, works with Amazon Alexa. So I think a lot of the world is familiar with this, and what we want to try and do is purvey a message that it's designed to work together, it's been tested and it's been proven, and you'll just get that repetition every time with each partner that we deal with. So just a little bit about Works with CZone and why is it beneficial. So first of all, it reduces the cost and installation time for boat builders and RV manufacturers. And it ultimately benefits the consumer as it gives the opportunity for us to reduce the complexity for users. You know, how many times have you been to a boat in an RV and they've got a control area and they've got 6 or 7 different types of control panels for 6 or 7 different types of products on the boat or the RV? What Works with CZone can do is it can pull all of that control into CZone, and it reduces the complexity and makes it a better user experience. Also, CZone can broker and facilitate communication and automation between those 2 different partners, and that brings further advantages to consumers and manufacturers. We're talking about modes of operation, logic blocks, load shedding, and other features all working together to improve that user experience, and that can benefit all of the CZone devices on the network. So what sort of partners have we got right now? We've obviously got the marine MFD manufacturers. We've also got a lot of RV HVAC manufacturers, 2 of the market leaders in Coleman and Dometic. We've got tyre pressure monitors for the RV side or the mobile business. We've got display suppliers and partners. We've got sensor manufacturers, keypads, switch pads, smart steering wheels. A couple of telematics options now with more in the pipeline. We're working with some system integrators, providing them the tools so therefore they can do their own bespoke displays and applications to control CZone, and also some wireless remote partners as well. So I won't go into it too deeply, but there are 3 levels of Works with CZone available. The first level just uses standard NEMA 2000 PGNs, switchbank PGNs. Level 2 enhances that further with some proprietary PGNs for naming those circuits and also getting the CZone alarms and alerts through to a third-party display. And then the final, level 3, is implementation of our full CZone library into the partner's software for full and deeper control and integration of CZone. So how does it work? How do we get going? So first of all, we just send the potential partner the Works with CZone introduction documents, and they can read all about it. It contains all the details they need to enter into the Works with CZone program. And if they're happy and they want to continue, we send them an NDA, and we work with them from the PM team here in Auckland to go through all the signing of the NDA, and then we supply our software development kit and all of our documentation, and then we work with them to do a little bit of validation at the end just to make sure it's all working and we're both happy. So there's a lot of tools and documentation available that I'll quickly take you through. First of all, we've got a simple introduction document which takes all of our partners through the process. Then there's the NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. It's very important that we sign this, particularly for level 2, because we're providing some proprietary information and we have to keep protected, and so do they. After that, we provide the SDK or the technical documentation for the partner to complete that integration. And then the other thing we're doing, and you'll start to see this more and more, and I'm seeing it more in the wild, is we've created a Works with CZone assets and logos, and if the partner is happy to sign a license agreement with us, we can send them the Works with CZone logo and assets, and they can use that in their advertising and marketing. And we've got several partners doing that, and you'll start to see that in the wild more and more. And the important thing for me is those assets and that consistent use of the Works with CZone logo helps to provide our boat builder, RV, mobile manufacturing partners, and ultimately the consumer with a clear message that the system designed to work together, and it's just going to make their lives easier. Any contact on that, just email workswith@czone.net, and that comes through to me and the PM team, and we'll get the ball rolling. And if a distributor wants to keep in contact, we will give them updates on how that integration partner progress is going. But just keep in mind that a lot of the time, until there's an official market release and advertised in the market, will generally be under NDA, and we'll have to keep pretty quiet about who we talk about. So some of our current partners, HVAC, as I said, heating, ventilation and air conditioning, keypads, MFD manufacturers, and a bunch of others as well, telematics partners. And there's more in progress under NDA, and we'll put those out as soon as we're able to, and we have some released products. And I'm going to hand back to Warren now to talk about one of our latest Works with CZone partners, Siren Marine.
Okay. So Siren Marine, they're probably one of the first Works with CZone partners. So what is Siren Marine? They're a telematics system. So with the integration, we can control CZone remotely using the Siren Marine system. So on Mark's slides there, it's basically a level 2 integration. So it uses the existing N2K switch bank PGN functionality. So just add the switches to the CZone circuits desired for remote control. So it also does bring in the circuit names, which is part of that proprietary layer that Mark just mentioned. So seamless setup on the Siren app. Circuits and modes are automatically populated. So as soon as you pair the phone with that system, then as I say, the configuration is just automatically populated. So it's really intuitive operation. It includes detailed status feedback on each switch, so you can see when it's the circuit's inactive, when it's sending a command, when that switch is actually or circuit's activating, and when it's on. So really good feedback, particularly with a remote application. Additional features are quite nice with the Siren system. So there's a circuit reorder. If you go to the digital switching settings, you can reorder the position of those circuits, and then it's also possible to rename the circuits within the app. So the device that's compatible with CZone is the MTC, and the Siren 3 Pro support is coming in Q4 2020. Hand back to Mark for MFD integration.
Generally, we give all of our partners around MET's timeframe an update on MFD integration. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just a couple of updates we have on 2 of our key MFD integration partners. So the first one is the Navico sidebar. I think you got shown this last year at METS, and Navico have been working on that through this time. So the latest feedback from Navico as of last week is that Lowrance release for NOS 20.1 is due imminently. Vessel View, which is the Mercury Vessel View products that are made by Navico, are due imminently as well in NOS 20.1. And Simrad and B&G will be released in NOS 20.2, and that is currently scheduled for December. And we will let you know as soon as that's available, and it would be available for download from the Simrad, B&G or Lowrance or Mercury Vessel View websites. There's a little bit of news on Raymarine. Raymarine at the moment has some of the best and most customizable integration on CZone, and really pretty much you can do anything you like through our page configurator that Raymarine have got available. But they have made 3 updates recently, which we thought we'd tell you about. Firstly, there's the ability to add CZone to Raymarine MFD without using the graphics tool. It's a plug-and-play situation, but the UI is very basic. Big buttons, no icons, no ability to reorder. However, you can split pages and have some big buttons available for key CZone functionality available on the MFD without having to do a full graphics installation. The other main change is the ability to have buttons added to the custom graphics screen, which allows you to switch between CZone pages in that graphics setup without having to go back to the home screen, which will make the ease of use and the user experience way better on the Raymarine integration. And then the final one is we have now the ability with Raymarine to run a custom file on Raymarine MFD, which will lock the MFD down to just be a CZone display, and it would remove most of the MFD functionality away. So that's going to be useful when you've got a third screen or fourth screen in a glass bridge setup, or maybe even a second screen that you want to just dedicate to vessel control in CZone. That file can be run on that unit just to stop any of the other MFD functionality occurring. And we understand that'll be available soon from Raymarine, and we will give you updates on when that is available. I'm also going to give you a quick field of vision, which lists and gives you an indication of what we're working on for the rest of this year and into 2021. So I'd just like to take you through some of the key pillars that we have in CZone for growth. And some of you would have heard this lecture before, but I'll try and keep it simple. I'm very passionate about this, and it's what we're basing a lot of our CZone development on in the coming years. So we really want to make CZone the system of choice for consumers and OEMs as smart connected systems become expected on vessels and RVs. And if you think about it, people spend more money on their boats and more money on their RVs than often they do on their cars, and even sometimes on their houses. And all of a sudden they walk onto the boat and they get a very mechanical and analog experience, whereas out of their new car or their new house, they've got much more of a digitally device-based user experience that simplifies their lives, and we just haven't seen that historically too much on boats and RVs, but it's starting to become more and more popular. So what we want to do is provide users with the best experience we can. So we're going to try and do that in three ways. So the first of all is a frictionless user experience and ecosystem. And we're not just doing this at CZone, we're doing this across the rest of the Advanced System Group and also across the rest of Brunswick. And we're all working together to achieve that. So we want to deliver an ecosystem that can drive our future growth and retain market leadership. We want to provide tools to reduce the complexity for installers and OEMs to help them set that up. We want users going to boat builders and going to boat dealers asking for a CZone system and asking for a smart connected system. And for a vessel or an RV to have a smart connected system, they need a system like CZone. So we want to take advantage of our market leadership and deliver that for them. Now, the problem is, which leads to our second pillar, that historically systems like CZone maybe have been only affordable in the higher end or the top end of the market. So what we want to do is we want to push the availability of smart connected systems down the pyramid of manufacturing of boat and RVs, so we can get access to more customers and more customers get access. So that leads me on to the second pillar, which is all about getting the cost down for the RV manufacturer and for the boat builder. We can't expect consumers to keep turning up to a boat builder or to a boat dealer asking for a smart connected system if the BOM or the bill of materials is still too high for a smart connected system like CZone. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to reduce the cost and the complexity for OEMs, so it's affordable for them to meet the expectations of that existing and those new consumers. What we're seeing at Brunswick is our boat owners are getting younger. Okay, they're getting more diverse, and both in gender and in race as well. So we really want to make it simple and easy for new boaters and new RV owners to have a really good experience on board, and we think a system like CZone is really, really important for that. and we need to get the cost down for our OEMs so they can put it in more of their mid-range and lower boats and RVs and make it more accessible. And we've seen that in the US with some of our more recent products like the Contact 6, Contact 6 Plus. We're right down now into 20-foot walleye bass fishing boats now. With sidebar integration on an MFD is very affordable, and it fits within the BOM overhead of that builder, and it allows that smarter digital experience and that automation that CZone brings. And then the last one I've already talked to you about, and that's drive to become the integration leader. I'm pretty sure that CZone has the most integration partners of all of the digital switching and vessels automation systems out there, and we want to keep driving that, and we want to do that through an agnostic approach to incorporate as many of those onboard systems as possible through the Works with CZone program and then other partner initiatives. So what have we got coming for 2021? We've got a new marine and RV module that Jeff has been busy working on. So that is going to be very, very configurable. The secret sauce on this new module is all about flexibility, and that's reducing the cost for the OEM by allowing more OEMs to use the same module in just different applications. For the first time, we're going to have IPX7 because once we get lower in the range and we get onto smaller vessels, there's more of a requirement for waterproofing. So we want to make sure it's robust and that consumer experience lasts even in bad conditions. We've got a couple of H-bridge channels to support a small RVs and some of their slide outs and jacks, and also wiper control. We have RGBW lighting control built in, multiplex switch inputs to match our competitors. We've future-proofed these modules, with some hardware for LIN bus communications, so as we make more smarter products across our organization in the future, they can more easily integrate into CZone. We have a really small footprint on this product. Once again, if we're trying to get into that mid-range of boats, we need to make it smaller and make it more accessible. And then we've got current monitoring and software fusing on all of those channels, and some really good innovation on molding in the Deutsch connectors while still keeping the cost down and keeping it affordable. We have another module coming which is designed specifically for RV, and it supports the Touch 7 we released this year, which was pretty RV specific. So this module is going to be, once again, very flexible and very configurable based on a very small footprint. Very easy to install using industry standard RV specific connectors. We've got really scalable hardware. So we've got various configurations including lots of H-bridge channels. The number of channels on this module will surprise you when you see it. We have 3 CAN buses for multiple different connections. So for the CZone network, for the Master Bus network, and any Works with CZone partner networks as well. We have that LIN bus capability built in for the future for ASG and Works with CZone partner integration. We've got smart MOSFETs, so fewer discrete components on the board, and that's all to get our costs down. Internal stated charge monitoring and RVC connectors. So those are both very exciting products, and you should see some information on those in Q1 next year. We have a few other projects going on in 2021 with some external partners. We're working with a partner for HTML5 MFD integration with custom graphics solutions for volume boat builders. It should solve a lot of problems for some of our custom boat builders. And we're also working with a partner for a Bluetooth to CAN adapter and a phone app for local control of CZone whilst on board the RV in particular. And once again, we'll have more information available on those in 2021. So we thank you for listening to Warren and I, and thank you for listening to Jeff as part of his shit. I got to the end and screwed it up.
Alright, just go back and do the thank you.
So I'd really like to thank you for listening to us, both Warren and I, and also Jeff and his presentation on the Smart Battery Hub. Really disappointed we couldn't get to METS this year, but we're here to help if you need us, and just get into contact with us through the Master Vault team or directly if you like, and we'll help you out as much as we can.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Warren. Can you tell us how was it to address your presentation to the people from 18,000 kilometers away?
Yeah, no, it was good. It's definitely a little different hearing yourself talk, but no, it was good.
I can imagine. A lot of questions came in during your presentation, and Diane, who are the experts to join this time?
Well, of course, we have 2 online experts in Auckland. And in Amsterdam, we welcome Michel van der Val to join us.
Hello, ladies. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello,
Good evening,
Michel.
guys. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Morning, Michelle.
Michel, thank you for supporting our colleagues in New Zealand. I believe you are one of the moderators behind the screens who are selecting the questions.
Yep.
Have you received some questions?
Oh, it's been hectic. We've received a lot of questions for you guys. Yes, we have.
That's good to hear.
I think so.
Okay, Michel, let's start and share the first question with Mark and Warren.
All right. Well, good. Guys, I hope you're ready. I have some very good questions for you guys. How can I recognize, that's the first one, how can I recognize the difference between a current Contact 6 Plus and a new one with bilge sense support? How is that recognizable?
That's a pretty good question. So we want to keep the part number the same, and we'll do a running change at no cost.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see physically on the Contact 6 Plus that there's going to be a small spade crimp just to the right of the green connector. So you'll be able to see that. We'll also put out a technical bulletin when we release this indicating the serial range, and we'll also put like a sticker or icon on the box or on the serial number range on the box just to make sure people know that it's equipped with the new functionality.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's clear anyway. Very good. I also saw the keypad switch bank support. Do we have the configuration tool to set this up? Do we need the configuration tool for that?
Yeah, so that's in the RTM 18 release, and we already have the switch bank support on all of our output modules, so the Koi, Control 1, and Contact 6 Plus. So it's the same functionality, but it allows you to configure that on the keypads.
All right, very good. Well, excellent, good stuff. So answered again. We go for the washing machine. NMEA 2000 audio control. Do you have an example of which brands are supported?
Yes, there was a product brief for RTM 17 that had the compatibility list. So there's Rockford Fosgate and also Sonic Hub and a few others. So we can make that available. One thing we don't have yet is Fusion Link, and that's something hopefully we'll get in a release next year.
Excellent.
Yeah,
well,
Fusion Link uses a slightly different protocol than the standard NEMA 2000. Probably the key, most popular NEMA 2000 audio that we integrate with over NEMA 2000 is JL Audio, particularly in the US and particularly with Navico Sonic Hub. So they're the two main ones.
all right, excellent, good stuff. So I think the information will be found on your portal as well afterwards, after the METS event.
There's not a lot of documentation on the portal for that integration yet, but we can send it out to the people on this in the meeting here. Yep.
Excellent, very good. All right, next question. Who do I have to contact if I want to have custom pages on my Raymarine MFD? Was a question which we got from a customer.
So the best people to contact is your Raymarine provider. Whether that's a distributor or Raymarine directly. The Raymarine graphics tool is available from Raymarine. It's their tool, and it allows you to pretty much configure the CZone interface on Raymarine however you like. There is a little bit of a tax with that. It's obviously free, but it does take quite some time to configure it, and it generally takes a pretty good understanding of CZone, and it also takes a reasonable ability to bring in graphics files and place them around as well. So generally Raymarine is very good. If you're wanting somebody particular at Raymarine, Josh, who's an Australian that lives in the UK, is their product manager for digital switching, and Josh is very helpful at Raymarine.
All right, very good. Excellent, good stuff. Well, the rest of I do not have on the card, so we can throw those away. But who do we... can I have the next question, please, on the screen, so I know which question there is, because... Oh yeah, this is a very good one. How is the time to charge calculated? So the time to charge, because this is not something which is provided by a Mastervolt MLI battery or a Master Shunt.
Yeah, it's a very good question, and you're giving me a bit of a test here. So it's basically the amp hours remaining in the battery, and then it's divided by the amps, charge or discharge.
Ah, all right.
So, sorry, charge, obviously, if it's time to charge.
Oh, that's easy.
So it's a fairly simple calculation.
Yeah, so simple calculation. Well, that's great. Excellent, good stuff. All right, next question, please. Is there any plans for a CZone RGB controller? Are there any plans?
Not at this stage. It's not on our list. Not a standalone one specifically. Some of the RGB lighting manufacturers obviously have them. What we are planning though with the RGB control in CZone, that would be to control specifically the new module for next year, which includes 2 RGBW zones on each module. And we'll also be using some of the standard NEMA 2000 PGNs for RGBW lighting that should get ratified by the end of the year. So that should then give us the ability for CZone then to control other modules that are RGBW modules only with our same protocol and our same display. So our vision for that is to be able to control our own RGBW ports on the new module next year, which includes 2, but also through industry standard PGNs, as long as everybody's playing ball, to be able to control third-party RGB controllers if they're using those standard PGNs and nothing too proprietary.
All right. Sounds like a very nice. That's excellent that that's coming. I also had a lot of questions from other customers about it. Do you have a very good question again? Do you have any plans to expand the label sets for the 6 and 12-way keypads? So maybe languages or maybe more loads which can be put on a sticker. Will you expand those label sets?
Probably not, but what we do provide is the files to either get some bespoke printing done in New Zealand and then provided to you, or even the InDesign files to allow you to get those done in your local area, as long as I think you follow the guidelines. So you'll look if there's a volume with a label sheet that we think is going to make it worth our while, I guess, we can look at it. Otherwise, we're seeing more and more builders, particularly in the US, go with a bespoke look, and I've been really surprised at some of the styles and images people have come up with and the creativity that's come up with. So I think it should be on us to publish a little bit of a sell sheet with some of those examples to show people what can be done. There was talk early on about maybe the product being a more of a mid-range product and not super premium, but some of the designs and finishes I've seen have looked extremely good and would fit in some of even more of the higher end RVs, and we're definitely having uptake from that in the US and some premium RVs and vessels. So I think we need to do a little bit more work on publishing what's available and letting people know. And if people do have any volume of maybe a pre-cut sticker sheet like we have now, we can look into it if there's going to be a reasonable volume there. All
right, very good. Thanks a lot, Mark. Next question, I think, Warren, this is one for you. Using CZone in a security system, the customer wants to be able to lock the configuration with a code just to protect it. Is there a roadmap ID for this?
Yeah, we do get that request often. Initially we wanted to keep it open just because it's we like to provide support for the system, and then our app engineers and our tech support can always have access to a system. But again, we do get that request a lot. So it's a feature that's in our software funnel, which is obviously quite large. We've got a lot of feature requests in there, and obviously a roadmap as well. So can't promise any dates for that, but we are hearing it a lot more. So hopefully we'll get that through into an official release soon.
All right, very good. Well, keep us updated and keep the customers updated. Let us know so we can inform our customer base here in EMEA, and you can, of course, inform everybody else. I have another question for you. It's about the CZone Marine system. Can you monitor and manage several boat systems with the CZone Marine vessel system, marine system? Fleet management, in other words.
Yep, it definitely comes with fleet management. That's one of the key features, I guess, for telematics. So you can monitor multiple boats with it. In terms of CZone, it's pretty lightweight at the moment. It's just control of circuits and modes. But hopefully in the next release coming up soon, then we'll add more functionality in terms of repeating alarms and some of the monitoring stuff as well. So yeah.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot. Another one, there's no end yet. Why no integrated Wi-Fi on the updated Touch 10? So why didn't you integrate it? Was a customer question. Why wasn't it integrated, the Wi-Fi? Was there a choice for it, or?
Yeah, we try to keep the update pretty simple. So we're just really getting the processor updated. It has had Ethernet on that hardware since day one, but we've never enabled that. So that's something we have added. So you will be able to connect that up to a router for access to Wi-Fi or the server from an iPad. So it does have the Ethernet connection for client mode, but we didn't want to do any hardware changes to add Wi-Fi at this point.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, guys. These were the questions which we had. I give the floor back to the ladies.
Well, sorry, guys.
Thanks, Michelle.
But we need to wrap it up. It is way past your bedtime in Auckland.
Sure is.
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Warren.
Thanks a lot, guys.
It's nice to have you in. It is nice to have you in the show, and we hope to welcome you again next year here in Amsterdam.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure next year.
We hope we can attend next year. Hopefully.
Looking forward to it. See you later, guys.
Thanks, Michelle, for your support.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Maybe your question isn't answered now, but at the end of the day, we'll publish all questions and answers on the Mastervolt portal. But now it's time for the upper room.
Upper room?
Your brain.
Oh.
We received a lot of answers for this episode of Brain Trainer. And looking at the reactions, a lot of people thought we are talking about the complete ASD organizations. But the correct answer is 283. Do we have a winner, Marianne?
There were not many correct answers, Diane. But I do have the winner right here. And as you probably know, I will tell you right after this break. The question was, how many people are working within the ASG organization in EMEA? And the winner is Michael Pacher.
Congratulations, Michael, and well done. You won a digital Mets Connect Me surprise. Check your inbox. We're sure it's gonna make you smile. Thank you all for participating. At 2 o'clock, we'll be back with our 6th online session, Anchor, Blue Sea Systems, Marinco, and ProMariner. In this session, you will get the latest updates of our US product brands.
For now, thank you for connecting, and we hope to see you back at 2 o'clock. Stay safe, stay tuned, stay healthy with Mets Connect Me.